had a good storm come through. Doing a little bit of maintenance out there, but I wanted to take the opportunity in between cutting some trees and some wood up that'll be used to heat the house next year. Take the opportunity to talk about one of the best pieces of kit that I acquired during 2024. What's in the box? What's in this box? Came all the way from Canada. Well, it's nothing but 550 cord. Certainly that's not all we bought. And it's not. And this thing takes my training to a different level. I hope that by the end of maybe this year, at the latest the following year, to have something permanent set up here on the property where I can employ this thing to get the most bang for the buck. Otherwise, each time I go out, I gotta set it up, and it's time setting up and tearing down that I would rather not have to invest in each and every single time I want to use this thing. But what we're talking about is the ability to get off of the static flat range and to build something that's a lot more dynamic. Sitting here behind me is the heart and soul of this. So this thing looks pretty cool. We're gonna see. It is lightweight again because it's all 3D printed. But that's actually a good thing because all the parts are extremely inexpensive to refabricate and put back on, and all the individual pieces and parts, like even if you were the most horrid shot on the face of the earth and you hit this thing, it's gonna be easy to repair. This thing is incredible. You can find full links and descriptions down below, but it's all 3D molded, right? And comes in a pack. It's super easy to put together. You really don't need the instructions. And this thing is phenomenal. In addition to this guy, of course, we have I keep my bag of goodies right now in my old Camelback. This is 1990s old school. If you're a super duper poor shooter, they have a 2x2 extender. What's up, bub? So you can attach this up here, run down a 2x2, so you have even more distance between it and the target. I'm sure they had to make something like this because some people can't shoot, and they said, oh my God, I tore it up. Intuitive remote, pretty straightforward. Turn it on, you can program it, a bunch of different things in here. Emergency stops and resets and returns and all that kind of stuff, setting the speed and everything. Manual goes over that pretty effectively, so even dudes like me can operate this thing. Take me to your leader. Some spare parts, right? Some spare nuts and bolts, even though we saw that it was all, QA, QC by an actual person, not a robot. They still threw in all the tools and all the hardware that you need, plus some extra bits and pieces. Good stuff. Let's go put this thing in action. You can set this up to run vertically or horizontally, right? No, strike that. Along the X or Y axis, whatever. I'm not a freaking engineer. You can make it run this way, or you can make it run this way. To date, I've only used this direction, right? They send out paracord, which is fine. But if you're going to use this, you really need a heavy-duty ratchet strap to really crank down on this thing. Man, I've got to find a better way to get good retention. Last time I just tried cranking it by hand, using some slip knots and the provided equipment that they gave me. This time I tried using a ratchet strap. Call that, 7 feet something. You got a little bit here, but there's only so much tension I can get on this thing, and drags the ground. Like using all the strength that you have, you're gonna get, it's gonna slope. So as it's moving down, the system is gonna come down and then go back up. So it's not the best. They do have a wire cable system, which I will set up here once I can set up something that's more permanent, right? But again, man, this thing, whether you want to use it to group in zero, out at 25 or 50 yards or 100 yards, like the sky's your imagination, right? As long as you can pull it taut enough over the distance, maybe using some Kevlar cordage, right? Something that doesn't have any give, right? It's not dynamic, get a good static cable system. As far as you can pull this thing out is as far as you can run it. So you can imagine the value of being able to run something out and then pull it back, run something out and pull it back. Pretty awesome. Being able to do things side to side. I was talking with my youngest. She's like, man, Dad, you should get multiple targets. So you got, zombies coming at you. So I guess you could do that too. But the good thing, what I like about this thing is even though it's fallen apart on me a few times out in the field, like maybe it was, operator error and the way I had it set up was improper, so it caused it to fall off. And so the gears are coming apart. It all slams back together. It's a weight system. I haven't used this one yet. I haven't needed to help keep targets weighed down. Right. This is one of the ones it comes with. This would just screw in here. Right. Pretty self-explanatory. Works perfect in my opinion. I picked up some. It's basically what you use to make political signs for, which are a dime a dozen. Not even that. Like they're like 200 a dozen every 2 years. But the good thing about this as opposed to cardboard is that you just paste your paper target on top of it and it's going to last a lot longer. What else we got? So they do make some extenders. The target's going to hang here. Like, well, you're going to shoot your target. Well, you got to imagine, if this was on a wire about that height, right? And you're shooting now chest level, you got to be a pretty poor shot to hit that thing all the way up there, like incredibly poor. And so that said, like this is not for, I would say this is not for somebody who's a beginner. Like if you were getting into shooting, maybe you've only been shooting for a couple years, what you really need is to focus on your fundamentals on the flat range and get those skills down. Dry fire and shoot static at 3, 5, 7, 15, and 20 yards until you're blue in the face, like burn through 10,000 rounds. If that takes you 10 years to do, that takes you 10 years to do. I'm not gonna freaking sit here and judge it. But master your fundamentals of firing whatever platform that you have. But at some point in time, you're gonna wanna to move beyond simply shooting. Now, some dudes like to go out and shoot competitions. Some people like to make their own competition-esque lanes where you got barrels and whatnots. all well and good. I ain't sitting in here to judge competitive shooting. But the really good thing about this is something's moving that you're reacting to. So there's all kinds of ways. I've set it up, just doing some basic back and forth and setting random back and forth in distances. So I don't even know exactly what's going to happen. It's forced me to respond. There's obviously some shooting from the vehicle and around the vehicle, so that's been kind of cool to be able to put myself in different positions. And there's still a standard, right, that I'm trying to meet and match of engaging, moving, engaging again. And I'm super looking forward to this thing. I think it cost maybe $700 for the setup, so it's not too bad. Some other pieces and parts and whatnot, you know. I like it. I think this thing is bomb shizzle. I love being able to not just set up a target when I go out to the woods. I still have those targets set up in the woods, and those are great, moving up and over and around terrain. Again, that's where I'm at. Like, once my weapon is grouped and zeroed, I'm done with that, except to confirm what I believe my group and zero is to be. Gents, like, take it from me, like, sometimes things will happen, things will get knocked around, and your sights get all 50 shades jacked up. So it would behoove you to spend 3 rounds a week to confirm your group and your zero, right? Your group, I mean, you shouldn't have to confirm your group anymore. I say that as old bad habit, right? That I'm doing 2 things with one iteration of rounds, but what I'm really doing is proving my zero, right? Does that make sense? Confirm your zero. 3 rounds a week, that's all it takes. So unless you're shooting something crazy hot, expensive, it's not going to cost you very much at all. A couple dollars a week. And even if you got into a habit where that's all you did the majority of the year, and every now and then when you got together with some pals, you did some good shooting and threw down a lot of rounds. Well, by getting out and throwing down, 3-6 rounds a week, man, you're gonna reap the benefit off that in the long run. That little bit of investment now is gonna pay off then. If you just wait for those big moments, if you wait to go spend $2,000 to go visit some high-speed, ultra-low drag, competitive shooters school, that's cool. And again, I ain't gonna sit here and judge you if that's how you want to spend your money. But I think we're fooling ourselves if that's all that we do, right? Go get all the training and course correction that you think that you need, but make sure that you're investing the time week in and week out to make sure that you're prepared for what hopefully will not come your way, but history's kind of proven otherwise. Team, let me know what you think about this setup and being able to drastically change the way that you train with your firearms. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below as we all continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. As always, team, until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.
We know you're out there! Come to my voice!